What's up, YouTube? Kedris here. And this is my reaction to Sean Dyche getting the sack. It was only just a little while ago. We just got done with our watch along, and I busted my butt for a good 2 to 3 hours putting together a highlights video for y'all to watch. Please go check it out. And the news hit X that Sean Dyche, the ginger prick, has been sacked. Yes, sir. Here we go. Love that intro, and I love Sean Dyche getting out of here. So, what are we going to talk about? Well, we're going to talk about his tenure here, which is steeped in controversy. We're going to talk about some managers who may or may not be available for us to get. And finally, we're going to wrap this up with a little bit of victory celebration. You know what I'm saying? A little victory. Now, I wasn't one of the people who were calling for Sean Dyche's head, like really hard. I did think he should have gone, but I was also accepting of him staying until the end of the season. That obviously hasn't worked out. And especially with this result against Palace and the result against Wolves, it's really put himself in a position where we have to change because the negative impact he's having on what we think should be easy matches is showing itself, and that's resulting in us dropping points. West Ham are only 2 points behind us, with the former dirtbag Nuno Espirito Santo leading the helm for them. And we're looking upwards at Tottenham Hotspurs, who are 2 points away, and who just sacked Thomas Frank. By the way, spoiler, I don't want Thomas Frank. All right, let's look at it. So here we got the post on X right here, official Nottingham Forest post. Nottingham Forest Football Club can confirm that Sean Dyche has been relieved of his duties as head coach. We would like to thank Sean and his staff for their efforts during their time at the club. We wish them the best of luck for the future, and we'll be making no further comment at this time. Now, there's a couple of things that we got to keep in mind here, and they're things that I've kind of dug up through doing a little bit of research. So, number one, the dream target for Mr. Marinakis, is Marco Silva, the head manager for Fulham. The problem is that we didn't pay the 14 million fee in January like we should have, and now the only way I can see him walking away is on a free in the summer. And to be honest with you, they just lost last night, so it's going to be interesting to see, with all these players coming in, him finally kind of getting some of the people that he wants, whether he's actually going to stay or jump ship. But what does that mean for Forest? Well, it means that we either A, pay the fee, get Marco Silva now, deal with the consequences, or B, we wait for Marco Silva till the summer, get in an interim manager, or C, we throw away Marco Silva and go get one of these new promising managers or a manager who may be out of the job for various reasons. Now let's take a look. So, I got my research pulled up over here. Marco Silva. Next up, Vitor Pereira. So that's the former Wolves head coach who got fired earlier this year. He's being seriously considered as a short-term option, and intermediaries, other people have already actually suggested him to the Forest board members. When I say board members, I mean operational people. Moving on, you have Oliver Glasner. He's currently at Palace, but obviously is very unhappy. Did we want to pay his contract termination fee? I mean, we were considering Marco Silva. Roberto Mancini, former Man City and Italy coach. The problem I have with Mancini is that he's kind of old, like really old. And if he comes in, he's going to be a long-term solution. Glasner as well. But he's going to be a long-term solution. How long is that, though? I don't know. Moving on to other managers who could put their name in the pot. There's Thomas Tuchel, Pochettino, Ten Hag, who I know has taken the director position, but he is, I think, available. And what's that guy's name? What's that guy's name? The guy who got fired from Real Madrid. I don't remember, but that guy. He's also available. Although I hear he could be taking the Liverpool job, but Liverpool are starting to get some traction. So does Slot not get fired? I think he stays if they get Champions League, which could be interesting. Also, Maresca. I know he's slated for the Manchester City job, but Pep has said repeatedly that he's not going to leave until the end of his contract, and his contract doesn't end until 2027. So not this summer, but next summer. Anyways, the options are aplenty. The field is rife. We just have to make the correct selection. What does this team need? I mean, looking at if we go to FOPMob and we just look at our team, look at our players. Oh man, we're so far down the table. I mean, Matt Sells come back late in January. Angus Gunn Ortega, that's a solid goalkeeper. Aina, Murato, Marilla should be back by the Fenerbahce match next week. We don't play till next week on Thursday. Cunha, Bali. I mean, Bali, he's not going to play. Milinkovic, Abbott, Williams. I mean, this is a good squad. A good squad with good options. And I think a manager coming in and looking at this squad sees a lot of potential. And I think the way that we were playing with that long ball kind of target man striker position type of play where we bypass the midfield and don't really utilize triangles on the wings, it it lends itself to a more simplistic type of football where basically your main attribute is physicality. And some of these players, physicality is not really their thing. I look at Omari Hutchinson, I look at McAtee, and I look at let's look at somebody else. Delane Bakwa. These are players that are quality players, but they don't really operate in a Dyche type of system. So I think if we can look at a manager who can kind of build that type of more possession-based system, and I don't think the results are going to be amazing starting off. Maybe we get a result against Fenerbahce because it's kind of like a new manager bounce. But I believe what's going to happen is we're going to get a manager, probably get a result at Fenerbahce or draw, lose at Liverpool, and then win at Fenerbahce the following week for the second leg. And what I want to see is an evolution. I want to see a different style of play. I don't want to see us beaten off the park. I want to see us have some development, have some different type of ideas. And we don't have to score goals, but we need to show a better impetus when it comes to attacking. Like during that match that we just watched, I complained a lot about not having a man coming into the box, not having an attacker who comes in as the second wave, is like a second runner behind the striker. These are things that are basic essentials in an attacking system. That's a good one. That's a structured one. And we never seem to have that. So I'm looking towards the managers, looking at all of them. I think if I had to make a prediction based on how it plays out, I just don't think we get Marco Silva. I just don't think it happens. I think, could we go for De Zerbi? He's got a fire from Marseille. I don't know. I think there's a lot of really good options, and Marinakis is going to have his pick. The problem is that Marinakis picked Ange Postecoglou, and Edu picked Sean Dyche. Both of those were terrible mistakes. So, who's going to pick the new one? Ay, ay, ay. But, hey, that's all I had to say about that. Just letting y'all know, Dyche got sacked. Dropping a video. Make sure you hit a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. What's your thoughts on who the next manager is going to be? And, hey, man, it's looking good. Come on, you Reds.